Whoa! What do we have here? Thursday Night Live again? No way. Who says that? Anyways, welcome everyone. If you're here, I don't know what you're doing. You probably got more important things to do than being here. Anyways, let's watch the replay. Much love to y'all. But come back when you can watch us live. Yeah, come back on live stream. I know your schedules don't elapse over my live stream. That's okay. Anyways, let's go ahead and see who's all here. And before we do that, we do got Jacob, the Exotic Planet here, as a guest, special guest. Also my co-host Todd, TJ Articross, also here.
It's good to be here, guys. Good to be here, and welcome Jacob to the stream.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Welcome. Let's go see. We got Sam, way. Welcome, the best mod on YouTube, y'all. Welcome. Jimmy P, be on time, vibes. I know, I'm a couple minutes late. I'm sorry. Hey, I'll tell you what's good, Jimmy. I was watching Roxy live stream. I wanted to give them a little extra time to finish what they needed to do. So that's why I pushed it back a little bit. Anyways, Annette, Mr. So Guardian, welcome. Big Steve, welcome. Garcia Aquatics here, welcome. Hey, Lando. Wow, Lando, where you been? For ages. Hope you're doing okay. Welcome. And my other co-host, Smokey. I'm here in chat tonight. You guys saw it. I can't be in person. Hey, all right, you are here in person. You're here. I can feel it. Thank you. We got Matt. Welcome. Scary Nona. Curl Works. Welcome. Wi-Fi. Welcome. Linda. Welcome. And before I forget it, y'all, I want to give a big shout out. Thanks to all the members. Because of y'all is why I did that little video at the start of the video, the live stream. Because of y'all. I said y'all deserve a shout out every live stream. So, thank you. Stay tuned for more content for the members only. It's gonna be good. I'm still working on the details yet, so give me a little bit of time. Eric Rylock! Welcome! Hashtag cookies! So, I guess the live stream's done now, Roxy's. So, welcome everyone. Alright. We're done with the chat. Awesome! Okay. For those that don't know, I met Jacob here a month ago. He's an awesome fella. We had a great time.
These pictures are great. I didn't know they would end up here.
Of course. Hey, when you're on Vibes, you never know what the picture is going to show up at.
I love it.
So, how long you been in the hobby, Jacob?
I'm 24 now. I've been in the hobby for at least 15 or 16 years. I started when I was a child. And And ever since I was a little kid, I was obsessed with keeping different types of animals. It started out just by catching bugs and like lizards and stuff outside. And as I got older, the hobby kind of matured for me as well. And I started keeping um, some more traditional pets like leopard geckos, bearded dragons, different types of snakes. I was always catching snakes. And when I was a little kid, I remember I would just I would find anything that I could, and I would just find some way to put it inside of a tank, and I would do everything that I could to learn about it. And I remember going to to the library after school or during the book fairs. I'd always get the different books about different bugs and things like that, and I just wanted to learn as much as I could about animals. And yeah, as I got older, like I said, I kept different types of animals, and eventually I found this one turtle in like this drain outside. It was like a little baby red-eared slider, and that was kind of like that was kind of like the red pill for me getting like really serious into
Mhm.
aquariums because you have this red-eared slider. It's a semi-aquatic turtle, and I set up a little 10-gallon tank for it. I think I was probably like I was only like 13 years old. I didn't even know what I was doing. But eventually I got like one of those traditional turtle tanks, which is like a 40-gallon breeder that you can only
Mhm.
fill like halfway. And I tried to put different types of fish in there. And, this is like one of those nightmare stories that you usually hear when someone first gets into the hobby. They don't do any research. They just kind of like throw anything that they want in the aquarium and just hope for the best. And the way I rationalized it when I was a kid is that, like these turtles, they live in the wild with other fish. So you can of course put fish in there, right?
Mhm.
Well, turtles, red-eared sliders in particular, they can be quite opportunistic animals when it comes to finding food. And almost every single fish that I put in that tank with that turtle got eaten. And I was like,
Mhm.
man, this is terrible. Here I am buying all these fish that I really care about, and the turtle just keeps trying to kill them. So eventually, I ended up outgrowing the turtle. I rehomed the turtle to somebody at my local fish store at the time, and I went all in for fish keeping. Now, when I was in like middle school, my dad he ended up getting this huge 260-gallon reef tank, and it was full of these different predatory fish. He had a little nano cube as well that was filled with all these different colorful corals and things like that. While I didn't really get into saltwater all that much, I only had like a mantis shrimp at one point, but I went really deep down the rabbit hole of like these oddball ornamental freshwater fish. So keeping the things like those like the polypterus fish or bikers or bashirs as people call
Mhm.
them. I was really into those. I was really into freshwater stingrays. I thought that was like the coolest thing ever. And I still like even to this day, like I think freshwater stingrays are probably the coolest like fish that you could keep as a pet if you're able to have a tank large enough or a pond to be able to accommodate one. But I live in Texas now, and unfortunately, freshwater stingrays are illegal. Otherwise, I would definitely have my own pond filled with freshwater stingrays by now.
Mhm.
But in Chicago, yeah, that's where I grew up, and that's where the fish hobby really started for me. But as I was diving deeper and deeper down the rabbit hole of different oddball freshwater animals, I came across axolotls pretty fast, as you can imagine.
Mhm.
Um, I didn't keep my first axolotl until I was probably like nine, like two, no, no, I was at least 20 years old when I had my first axolotl. So I've only ever been keeping axolotls now for about 4 years. But like I said,
Mhm.
I've been keeping fish in different aquariums now for about 15 or 16 years.
Wow. Awesome. Hey, everyone, double check that you're subscribed to Jacob. Here's his link. Give him love. Go ahead and follow him. He got good content. He's got more coming. So, Count to a Half Moon, welcome. June, hey, Oscars, welcome. Sorry, behind chat. Merrick T, welcome. Vinoski, welcome. Nana Quinn guy, Jay, how you doing? Long time no see. Sharkfin, welcome. Jeff Kane, the man, the legend. Welcome, Jeff Kane. Good to see you. Pet Sonics, welcome.
The usual good crowd in here tonight. Vibes.
Yeah.
We are very fortunate to have them, and we're also fortunate to have Jacob here to talk to us a little bit about his hobby and certainly his business, right, and understand a little bit more
Mhm.
about that and how that came to be. So yeah, this is gonna be really really good. Another fun Thursday night.
Awesome. So, what got you into the social media for like Fritz and Aquashella?
Yeah, so that's actually pretty interesting as well. And it really started out as like this little, like this caveman trade that I had with this one fish store over in New Jersey. They're still around today, and if anybody is comfortable with buying fish online, I'd recommend them. They're called Exotic Aquatics over in New Jersey. There's some great people,
Mm-hmm.
and they specialize in more of the ornamental freshwater fish as well. But when I first graduated high school. Um, and I have a personal account called Top Quality Aquatics. Now the reason why I say that is because that was kind of like the first social media account that I created when I got into the aquarium hobby, and um, it all started because I intended on like selling freshwater discus, and we can get a little bit more into that here in a
Mm-hmm.
minute. But long story short, my discus breeding project did not end up working out. Like the discus, I wasted all the money that I had saved up from Christmases and birthday parties on this proven pair of discus. And by themselves, discus are very expensive fish. And if you
Mm-hmm.
were to get a male and a female pair, it's especially a nice like a high quality pair, it's going to be wildly expensive. I think I spent like over $1,200 on just the fish alone. But
Oh yeah.
long story short, and like I said, we can dive deeper into this here in a second. But I had no success actually getting them to raise their own offspring. Like the discus, they're great fish if you have a good set of parents, because they'll the babies, they'll eat off the slime coats of the parents, and then they get big enough, and eventually you separate them and start feeding them their own food and grow them out a little bit until they're ready to sell. Well, my discus kept eating their babies. And like I was talking to some other hobbyists, and I was looking online, and I came to the realization that they just needed practice until they were able to have a successful batch. Well, they ended up practicing like 10 more times until one day I just opened up the lid, and I was going to feed them like I normally would. You know how discs are, they're notorious for getting spooked. And the male,
Mm-hmm.
he just swam full speed across the tank, slammed into the glass, and he passed away on impact. But during that time, and during my ventures trying to breed discus and sell them, I thought it would be a good idea to create a social media channel. So I got on Instagram, and this was back in like 2018-ish. I started an Instagram page called Top Quality Aquatics. It's still around today. I have a little over 250,000 followers on there. But once the discus passed away, I didn't really try again. I just started posting my own fish stuff on there. Eventually, people began to DM me, and they were like, "Hey, man, I really like your page. Here's my aquarium. I think your followers would like it. Would you be down to give me a shout out?" And I was like, "Sure, dude." Like I would see some people's posts, and like I would like if I saw anything that I really liked, I was super down to share it. And when I started out, keep in mind that the account was still very small. I had like less than a
Mm-hmm.
thousand followers when I first started. Once I hit 1,000 followers, I was like over the moon. I thought that was like a really big deal. Um, but over time, more and more people, they began to reach out to me, and they would say, they would ask me for shout outs, and I was all for it. And as I posted different types of content, I would notice that some aquarium posts would do better than others. So I started paying attention to what types of aquarium related videos and photos would end up generating the most exposure. And over time, I was actually able to find these little variables in different types of aquarium content that I could look for when just like searching for content online. And once I knew what those variables that were, I was able to predictably post a piece of content on my page, and expect it to either go viral or perform significantly better than usual. Now, I didn't. I was still a teenager at this time. I didn't really see much value in it. The whole social media management thing wasn't really a thing back then. And I remember I wanted this one pair. I wanted these pearl stingrays from this one fish store, Exotic Aquatics. And I
Mm-hmm.
reached out to him. I was like, "Hey, man, like I really want these fish, but I can't afford them. Like, would you be down for me to like help manage your social media in exchange for these stingrays? And he was down for it. So I was like, dude, this is awesome. And we did the exchange. You know, I was managing his account, and then I got my fish. Eventually, he was like, dude, yeah, you're really good at this. Like, can I just pay you to manage my social media? And I was like, dude, yeah, of course. And that's kind of when it clicked to me that this is something that was valuable to businesses. And after, you know, over some time of me growing that account, growing my own brand, and working with some other people in the hobby at that time to help grow their Instagram accounts, George Mavrakis, Coralfish 12G, he DM'd me one day. He's like, hey man, I really like what you're doing. You know, I just co-founded this company called Aquashella. Would you be down to help grow it and, you know, do what you did for Aquashella that you did for your accounts? And I was like, dude, yeah, that'd be awesome. And what's funny is that at the time, Aquashella was only in Chicago and Dallas. And, you know, I'm from Chicago. I ended up moving to Dallas, not to, you know, it wasn't for Aquashella or anything, although that was a nice bonus. But, you know, ultimately I moved out here to help start Axolotl Planet. But, you know, once I started getting Aquashella off the ground, I picked up the attention of Sean Hale, another one of the co-founders of Aquashella, and he's like, "Dude, this is awesome." And you know, he works at Fritz Aquatics, and he's like, "Would you be down to do the same thing that you did with Aquashella and all of your other accounts for Fritz?" And I was like, "Dude, yeah, sure." And funny enough, Fritz, their headquarters, I'm not sure if, you know, these people, everyone here in the chat, if they know this or not, but Fritz Aquatics, their headquarters is here in Dallas as well. They're only about, and they're, well, I'd say, you know, I say Dallas, but they're probably like 40 minutes away outside the city. But it's absolutely crazy how that all ended up working out. And so that's really how I got into helping some accounts in the aquarium industry grow their brands on social media. Eventually, I just used these skills to help grow Axolotl Planet when we first decided. But that's really how I got into the whole social media management thing, because it all started with this caveman trade of me wanting some fish and offering some talents that I had to a local business that wanted the help.
That is awesome. That's a great story. And for those that are thinking about doing something like that, just do it. You might end up running some big companies. We got June here, just subbed. Awesome, June. Thank you. Hey, Victor, welcome. Yeah, Sonics. Yeah, he was from Chicago. Mr. Kelly, welcome. Hey, George, how you doing?
Looks like we also picked up Trash Cat.
Hey, Trash Cat, welcome. Okay, back at it. So, are you planning to attend any conventions next year?
Always Aquashella. I'm going to be there like every single event, of course, helping them get content from the you know, from all the different vendors that are there. That's like my favorite part about going to these conventions in general, is just seeing all the cool stuff that we have there. I see some pretty cool comments here. What's this one? Laws are for dorks and the law abiding.
Yeah, I saw that.
Funny. Yeah, I mean, there's people out there who just, I don't know how they're able to get some of the fish that they are, but yeah, I've seen some crazy things in different Facebook groups. I just try not to get involved in any of that. What's cool is actually here in Dallas, you know, someone's talking about Asian arowanas here in the chat, and yeah, they are illegal to keep in the United States, of course. Yeah, Victor Coco, he said, what's the status of legal arowanas, legal arowana species in the United States? You know, you have silver arowanas, Jardini arowanas, you have the Lake Hardy arowanas. Technically, butterfly fish are in the same family as arowanas. Not a lot of people know this, but they are pretty much mini arowanas. Now, when you look at them next time, you're going to see they have like the exact same body structure as an arowana, especially that same jaw. So I think that's actually really, really cool. And there's also the black arowanas too. I'm pretty sure that's all of the different arowana species that you could actually keep here in the United States. Here in Dallas, they have a public aquarium called the Dallas World Aquarium. And although Asian arowanas are illegal to keep in the United States, they have some there, and I think they might have confiscated them from like people who were smuggling them in. They also have some freshwater stingrays, and I know that it's common practice for like zoos or public aquariums to take in things that people might smuggle in that are invasive or illegal to keep. So I think that's actually pretty dope. I've never seen an Asian arawata in person until I went to the Dallas Aquarium here. So if there's anybody listening right now that wants to see an Asian arawata in person, they have some there.
Yeah. Great. Great. Hey, Andy, welcome. How you doing? Stephen P, welcome. Okay,
Also
back
Craig.
at it, yo. Oh yeah, Craig. I'm sorry I missed you. Sorry. Welcome, Craig. How you doing? How's Australia? Is it warm enough over there for y'all? Okay. Okay, back to it. What would you tell a beginner that's getting into the hobby?
That's a really good question. It's great because I talk to beginners every single day at Axolotl Planet, or at least the days that I'm there, pretty much. But whenever I'm helping customers, the primary group of people who come in are parents of children who found axolotls in Minecraft and want to keep one as a pet. They've never kept an aquarium before, and so those are pretty much the beginners in the hobby, right? Because they've never kept an aquarium and now they're finally keeping this axolotl, and of course they live in freshwater aquariums. But the one thing that I always explain to them is the process of cycling aquariums. And now the way that I break it down is like the very simplified version of it. I pretty much walk them over to the aquariums, and we have the tank set up in a very simple way. It's just like I describe it as a big glass box that's filled with water that has a filter in it, and that the one thing that people can't see is that there's microscopic bacteria that grows all over the filtration, that breaks down the waste produced by the axolotls, making the water safe for them to live in. And we give them a proven system to help grow that bacteria in their aquarium. And it's like that is the first thing that I like to mention to people when they first come in, because that is like the foundation of keeping any type of aquatic animal, not just axolotls. And it's pretty nice because we've developed a way of in-tank cycling that's a bit modified. It's not the traditional method of in-tank cycling by any means, where you're just taking a bunch of goldfish from Petco or PetSmart, you throw them in a tank and then just hope for the best. What we do is a little bit more strategic. Thankfully, we have companies out there like Fritz Aquatics and Seachem that make great water conditioner. I'm sure everyone here has heard of Seachem Prime or Fritz Complete. And the beauty of these water conditioners is that they can actually detoxify ammonia and nitrite for up to 48 hours. They can also detoxify nitrate, but usually smaller quantities of it. Now, and everyone knows this, but we handle nitrates. We handle nitrates just by doing water changes, right? Unless you're growing like denitrifying bacteria, and that's like a whole nother thing. But or if you have like tons of plants in the aquariums. But so when you have an aquarium, and especially if it's something as like small as like a juvenile axolotl in a 20-gallon or 40-gallon tank, what we sell at our store, they're not really going to be producing a whole lot of ammonia anyways at that size and that volume of water. And what we do is we allow people to bring their axolotl and aquarium home the same day, and we also send them home with a bottle of Fritz Complete, an API freshwater master test kit, as well as the Fritz 700 Turbo Start. And what we tell them to do is until their tank is fully cycled, or when their ammonia and nitrite begins to read 0 ppm, just test the water every 2 days. If you have any ammonia or nitrite in the water, add 1 dose of your water conditioner and 1 dose of your bacteria just to keep seeding new bacteria in there. And then just repeat that process until the ammonia and the nitrite are at 0. And it usually takes folks sometimes like 6 to 8 weeks until it's fully cycled. Sometimes not quite that long, sometimes a little bit longer. There's so many variables. And one thing that you have to wrap your head around is that, the pH, ammonia, nitrite, and nitrate, that's just like the tip of the iceberg when it comes to every single thing that actually makes up your water chemistry. So there's a lot of different variables involved. And it's thankfully with the axolotls, it's like a pretty streamlined system. Like we deal with the exact same thing every single day, so there's never any like guessing games that we have to do, since we know pretty much everything that there is to know about the husbandry of these animals. But yeah, I mean, there are some like nuances here and there as well. Like I heard, and I don't think this is anything that's actually this isn't anything that's marketed on any of the bottles yet, because there's still a lot of testing that needs to be done. But we do tell people to actually do a water change if their ammonia begins to exceed 3 ppm, and if their nitrite begins to exceed 5 ppm. Or if you have the API test kit, it's only going to go up to 5 anyway, so you don't even know if it's higher than that or not. So you want to keep it lower than 5 just to make sure that it doesn't go above 5, because like I said, it's only going to read up to 5. But that's because the Fritz Complete and the CChem Prime, I can't really speak on behalf of CChem, but I know with Fritz, Fritz Complete and CChem Prime, they're much similar products. And I know with the Fritz Complete, I was talking to some of their chemical engineers, and we got some estimates as to roughly how much ammonia, nitrite, and nitrate it could effectively detoxify. And for the ammonia, it was up to 3 ppm. For nitrite, it was up to 5 ppm. And then for nitrate, it was 10 ppm. So there are some other variables that come into play that can affect the efficiency of the product. But like I said, if the ammonia is at 4 ppm, the water conditioner is only going to detoxify up to 3 of it. So you still want to bring your ammonia down so that you can bring it to a level that can effectively be detoxified, so that your animals aren't exposed to the harmful effects of ammonia and nitrite.
Since we're talking about CChem, Prime, and so forth, Fritz,
Yeah.
there's a new one. Hold on.
What is this? Extra bid?
This? Yeah, Extra Bio.
Extra Bio. What is that?
It's a product from hold on, Vietnam. I just got introduced to it this past weekend.
And it's a what kind of product is it exactly? Is it a water conditioner?
No, it's like Turbo Start.
Oh, okay. It's a bacteria product.
Right.
Interesting.
I got all the info. No, I just picked it up. They gave it to me at Texas Aqua. It's a fish store. They had a booth there at the expo in Houston.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, and they had this product there. They're actually selling it at their fish store right now.
Really?
Yeah. So they went and gave me a bottle to try out. Anyways, the equivalent sizes, but it kind of sounds like this Turbo Start stuff. So I don't know. I just wondered if you heard about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I haven't heard about that one. When it comes to especially like interacting with customers, I like to just give them all the same products like all the time, so that there's hardly any variables that come into play, because as soon as people start using stuff that we don't talk about,
right,
it adds another layer of complexity, and it adds another variable if they end up experiencing any problems. If they use some kind of product that we're unaware of, we can't really help as much. So I usually just stick to what works the best and what works most consistently. And I just had really great experiences with using the Fritz products. Plus, they're very affordable, and I never really run into any stock issues with not being able to, buy it at any given time. It's always readily available. But I'm always into different types of products that that are promoted by some of these different aquaria brands. Like, I've never heard of that Extra Bio one, but it looks like a pretty legit product. I mean,
yeah.
Once you end up using it, let me know what you end up thinking about it.
Oh yeah, definitely. It was used according to the box. It says it was used in International Aquatic Plant Layout Contest.
Really?
Yeah. So, I know as much as you do about it, so I'm kind of excited.
Yeah. One thing that's actually kind of cool, and I'm not sure if you know this. Fritz doesn't really talk about it publicly, but they actually the version of Fritz Turbo Start that we get is actually like a very diluted version of it. but it's still
Right.
incredibly potent. It's like the most potent bacteria product that you can buy right now. But I seen when they actually manufacture the TurboStart, the saltwater 900 and the freshwater 700.
Mm-hmm.
They manufacture in these giant like 2-story steel vats. And it's crazy. They have like this catwalk that you can walk on top of, and you get to see like down into these vats, and it's crazy, dude. They're gigantic. These things are like, they have to be like almost 10 feet in diameter, and they're like 2 stories tall. These are like monstrous vats, and they have a ton of these things just like all lined up. So it's really cool to see. But they also supply bacteria to like public aquariums where, you know, they have to treat like over 1 million gallons of water, and
Right.
they have this they have like a very concentrated version of TurboStart, and it comes in like a 5-gallon bucket, and it's so thick that it's like pudding. It's like bacteria pudding. And then they use that to help cycle like millions of gallons of water, and just one of those 5-gallon buckets is enough to do it, because it's just like you know like what the Fritz TurboStart is like, you know, the version that we buy, it's just like that
Right.
very watery consistency, and look how potent it is. You know, it says on the bottle you can even dose it up to 5 times the normal amount to help cycle the tank faster. Now, just imagine like how much more you can get from that 5-gallon bucket, but it's not that watery consistency. Like, it's so thick that it's legit like pudding. It's really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I want to bathe in it.
Ew. Now that'd be interesting. Huh. I never thought of that.
Yeah.
That might be the new competition. Melvin,
I know,
welcome. So, do you have any goals for the upcoming year? Or is
That's a
that
good question.
a secret?
Well, I mean, as you can see, we're not too big on YouTube right now. I mean, we have like I think we have like a couple thousand subscribers, but we mostly just post content for like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Any content that we do post on YouTube are really shorts. One thing that I regret just like every single day, it's just like this existential dread that I hold on to like all the time, is just not going all in on YouTube back in 2019 when we started Axolotl Planet. So that's the biggest goal that I have going into 2024 for the company, at least. Just really going super, super hard on YouTube. And, you know, like, of course, there's a whole like brand building side to it. But like our customers, the guides that we follow, the guides that we give them to help, you know, get them on the right track with their tanks and going and everything like that to keep their axolotl healthy, they have incredible success with it. People who've never kept an aquarium in their like a day in their lives, or have never even kept a pet in their lives, have immediate success just following our the guides that we give to them to take care of their axolotls. So it's like a foolproof system. But I want to make it even more effective by doing like some type of video course, maybe something where like we post like all the different steps of setting up an axolotl aquarium just in like a series on a channel for our YouTube, just because we know how well it works. And people, they don't even need to buy an axolotl from us, or they don't even need to get the exact same products we recommend. It'll work with a variety of different products. But like for the person who like just stumbled across axolotl somehow and they ended up impulse purchasing one from like their local fish store or something, and they don't know what to do, it'd be a great resource for them just to look up how to take care of an axolotl on YouTube or something, and then just get exposed to all of our videos. So like regardless of whatever position they're in, they are going to have success taking care of an axolotl. And the same stuff works with fish. You know, it's just like you got to make sure that when you're keeping the fish, you have to pay attention to the ammonia a little bit closer, because you know everything's going to have a different bioload, and there's so many different variables, like the size of the aquarium, the how seeded the media is, if it's like a brand new filter, one that's been going for a while, different things like that. And then there's always the people who like spend 6 months cycling their tank, like with the fishless cycling method or something, and then they finally get their fish start pooping, and they're like, oh, it's time to clean my filter. So they take everything out and they start cleaning it under their tap water, like in their sink under the hottest water, and kill all the good bacteria. But yeah, that's one of the biggest goals that I'd say, just getting going harder on YouTube, providing more value to people, even if they're not customers of ours. We just want to make sure that everybody is having the most success with their animals as possible.
Right. Mr. Cali Fishkeeper has a question. Why isn't Fritz marketing to the Spanish-speaking community?
It's a great question. I think I'm not any, and I just help with their social media side. So there's very little internal information that I have about what they do. But I would say that a lot of companies in the aquarium industry just don't have the capital to be able to invest in a whole different like extension of the brand that's focused on a different language. Like if you look at the numbers, only about 5% of Americans actually have an aquarium. And it leaves very little room for companies in the aquarium industry to actually make a lot of money, especially enough to have a complete different department that's focused on another language. Although it would be valuable, I agree with you completely. Maybe just like, I don't know, maybe they, I think maybe what some companies could do is like have like, like what Mr. Beast does. He has the exact same channel, but in multiple different languages, and he just dubs the video content with somebody actually translating what he is saying. So maybe they could do something like that to help get in a little bit, but it's kind of hard if you plan on creating like a maybe like it's also like if they are going to be leaning in the direction of advertising to people speaking another language, like do they have to make the products in another language as well, like all the writing on the products to make sense? And it's like it's there's a lot of logistics involved that I just don't think a lot of companies in the aquarium industry really have the capital to invest in. That's why you just don't see it more often, in my opinion. But like I said, I could be completely wrong. There's very little that I know when it comes to like the internal things that these companies in the aquarium hobby do. Plus, just in general, like a lot of the companies in the aquarium industry are kind of far behind when it comes to doing anything digitally or accommodating to a larger audience size.
Since we're talking about language and everything, I had to grab my safe. See, come? And anyways, here I'm looking at it, and they have all different kind of languages on the bottle. And there's like a stack. I don't know if you can see it, but the corner pops up. Oh, hold on.
Oh, yeah, it pulls out?
Yeah. And there's like a whole list of different languages. I was like, wow. I didn't even realize it even.
You know what? You just reminded me of something. I noticed with the API Freshwater Master Test Kits, like the first 4 pages are all in English for how to use the product. But if you like go like further in that little pamphlet that they give you, I'm pretty sure they have it in multiple other languages as well. Same thing with Fluval. I think all their stuff is in English and what, German or Dutch or something. They have they have I think it's like English and Dutch or something like that. Yeah, Fluval, they are like a German brand or something, aren't they? They're not.
Yeah,
like how Cice is made in Italy, so a lot of their stuff is in English and Italian.
Yeah. Echo! Eating shampoo and bathing in filter gravy. Vibes has found his people.
Bathing in the filter gravy. Yeah, that's great.
We also picked up Melvin and Sal, DJ Guppyfish.
Hey, Marvin, welcome. Eating shampoo, that was it last week?
Yeah, Jimmy.
Yeah, Jimmy Gimbal.
One of you guys, he ate shampoo?
Yeah, he likes it.
No, he didn't. Come on.
No, he talked about that on the live stream, that was like one of his things was to taste shampoo.
Hey, I mean, yeah, I guess that guy's not far off then. Yeah, eating shampoo and bathing in filter gravy. Yeah, you got the right people here. You got the right people here, Eddie.
DJ, welcome. All right.
Steven says shampoo should stop smelling so delicious.
Yeah.
That would help.
Dude, I'll be honest with you. Like ever since I was a little kid, like I would just like smell like those like the Tetra fish flakes, and I always thought it smelled so good. I always just want to take like a little pinch of the flakes and just like eat it while no one's looking, but never had the guts to try it.
You're probably better off, Jacob.
Probably. I think it smells like corned beef and hash. Like when you smell it, it's like reminiscent of corned beef and hash to me, and I love corned beef and hash.
Ooh.
Okay.
Scary Nona, welcome.
Okay, so here's a question.
Well, go ahead.
Just wanted to, understand. So, total non-axolotl knowledgeable person here. So let me put it
Sure.
out there like that, right? So the only thing I know is what I've learned from one of our other friends, Foxy,
Yeah.
who breeds axolotls,
Hmm.
and wanted to just understand from you, sort of like, what's the biggest misconception, or maybe, what, Jacob, would you say is sort of the biggest learning that you've had in your time keeping axolotls, and sort of how do you incorporate that into your interactions with your customers?
Yeah, the biggest misconception is that axolotls are hard animals to take care of. They're the easiest aquatic pet that I've ever owned in my entire life. Um, it's like I think what trips people up the most is that you have all these, like I said, like the majority of our customers are people who've never even had an aquarium in the past. So when they look up how to keep an axolotl tank, they come across like tank cycling and this and that, and it's just like it's like reading a different language to them. They have no idea what it means,
Sure.
and they're like, oh yeah, an axolotl is so hard to take care of because of this, and then there's all these other different things as well. It's like there is no like general source of the most consistent and accurate axolotl information. That's where we come in. Um, we have taken care of more axolotls than I think anybody has in the world. Maybe I would actually I take that back. I know that there's conservationists in Mexico City that have likely taken care of a lot more axolotls than we have, but um, we have taken care of well over 10,000 axolotls. So we know what it's like to just like we know those animals like the back of our hand. Like you can give us like you can walk up to us on the street, hand us an axolotl, and we'll know exactly what to do with it. Like taking care of them is just so simple. But with that being said, there's some other misconceptions out there, like axolotls can't be housed with other animals, and which like they can, but you have to be careful about how you do it. Of course, the majority of fish that people would even have access to are tropical fish, right? Ones that prefer water temperatures around 78, 80 degrees. Axolotls, they prefer it cold, like below 72. Like ideally, if you can keep the temperature like highest 68, that would be the best for them. The colder the better, but you kind of have some room between 68 and 72 where they'll live perfectly fine long term. um, but when it comes down to what kind of fish you can put with an axolotl, it would be like guppies or white cloud minnows, zebra danios, those fish that like colder water in general. Also keep in mind that your axolotl, although they seem like really silly creatures and there's not a whole lot going on inside their heads, they are ambush predators. So what they'll do is they'll just sit in one spot for a long time, and any of those fish that swim past its face, it's just going to inhale it. So you have to be careful with it, and it's like when it comes to like responsible fish keeping in general, you're usually going to quarantine fish before you put them in your main system. I would encourage you to eat like to I would encourage you to consider that even more so if you plan on putting fish in the same tank with your axolotl, because you have the expectation of them getting eaten. And parasites are really common when it comes to fish keeping in general, especially if any fish are wild caught, which a lot of fish that people buy are wild caught. So I always encourage people to go the extra mile, set up a 10-gallon quarantine tank, and put some Expel P or Prosequantal in there to help rid your fish of any parasites before you put it in the same with your axolotl. But there's also things like axolotls can't be put in the same tank with each other. It's also false. If you go to Axolotl Planet, you'll see that there are we have hundreds of axolotls, and a lot of the tanks that we have multiple axolotls, and they're living together perfectly fine. The biggest thing to keep in mind, though, is that like any animal, you want to take good care of it, and there is a degree of responsibility that's required to make sure that those animals that you have are not hurting each other. So, like, what's the best way to prevent your fish from eating each other? You feed them more. You make sure that they're getting enough food. Same thing with your axolotls. Like, they're not carnivorous animals or anything, but they are, like I said, not the brightest. And so if you have a hungry axolotl in the tank with another axolotl, and the other one swims past the face of the one who's hungry, it might lose an arm or a leg or the tip of a tail. Luckily,
Mm.
they have incredible regenerative properties, and they can regrow their arms, their legs, their tails. They can regrow their gills. They can regrow parts of their heart, their brain, their spinal cord. We have one customer who came in a couple weeks ago, actually, and she was like, "Oh yeah, my axolotl just got back from surgery," and I was like, "Excuse me, your axolotl had surgery?" She's like, "Yeah." I was like, "What happened to it?" She's like, "Oh, my kids they left the lid open and the cat got the axolotl." Like, the cat got the axolotl? Like, and she's like, "Yeah, it just reached its paw in there and just swiped the side of the axolotl and showed me this picture." And it was awful. Like, this axolotl's whole lung was sticking out of its body, as well as some of its intestines. And she said she said that it was so grotesque seeing this that her daughter just projectile vomits like across the room because it's just so nasty. Yeah, but she was able to actually take it to a local vet here in the Dallas area that was willing to perform surgery, put the lung back inside the axolotl, put its intestines back inside, sewed it up, and she said that it was like nothing ever even happened. Um, so it's pretty remarkable just how much they can do. But to answer your question, Todd, going back to it, the most common misconception is that it's difficult to take care of axolotls, and what people just don't recognize is that the cycling process doesn't have to be complicated, and it's not something that's exclusive to axolotls. Like you have to cycle any aquarium that you plan on keeping any type of aquatic animal in, whether it be axolotls or different types of fish. Or frogs. Like, you have to make sure that you have enough bacteria built up to break down the amount of ammonia produced by that animal.
Yeah,
Steve
that's
B has a question.
interesting stuff. Yeah, go to Steven's question.
Is it
I
true
love
that
it.
you can do a head transplant on an axolotl?
Oh gosh, I want to show you guys something. I'm probably not going to be able to find it on Google, but we do have a developmental biology book about axolotls, and here that is. Yeah, so that actually happened. Um, so you can see this picture here,
Yeah.
and so these are also called like these. Yeah, can you see that?
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. Let's do it. There you go.
Yeah. So that's not natural. The most common version looks like this. Here, hold on, let me see. This is like the most common version of that, where they'll actually take the tails of two different axolotls. So like this one here is a melanoid axolotl, and then this one here is a leucistic. And they'll cut the tails off the melanoid axolotl and the leucistic axolotl and swap them. And the axolotl's regenerative properties are so remarkable that they will accept the foreign tail. But yes, like if you do it correctly, you're actually able to put other body parts on axolotls and they will accept them. It gets even like crazier though. So aside from the the tails and the heads, they've been able to regrow organs in axolotls. So they would actually take the cells of different organs in other axolotls, put them in different axolotls, and be able to grow those same organs. They've even taken the gonads from a male axolotl and introduced them to a female axolotl, and then the female axolotl became a male axolotl. So it's pretty insane when you actually read just how much has been done in like the scientific field when it comes to axolotl research. Like, we've Mexicali fish keeper.
Why is that legal? Why are they boozing the poor animals?
Dude, I don't know, man. The fact, you guys probably know about like the glowfish and stuff, right? There's something similar with axolotls. They're called GFP axolotls. It's short for green fluorescent protein. And several decades ago, when axolotls were first being studied for medical research, scientists they synthesized their DNA with green fluorescent protein. That's that gene that protein that's derived from jellyfish DNA. And so it allows them to like glow under black lights or blue lights, any blue spectrum of light, really. But the reason why we have those in axolotls is because scientists were better able to study the regenerative properties of their stem cells. And I think the cool thing about it is, I think the same is true for a lot of glowfish as well. I don't think it's as common for that fluorescence to be artificially introduced anymore. Although, I still there's of course probably companies out there that are still doing it like that. But when it comes down to the axolotls, at least, if you have a GFP axolotl and you breed that with a non-GFP axolotl, half the babies will also be GFP. So it's something that can be passed down from generation to generation, and it has no adverse effects on the health of the axolotl. A lot of people are like, oh, they can't see well because they have like these glowing green eyes. They can see just as well as another axolotl can. And in fact, like I said, we've taken care of well over 10,000 axolotls over the last half decade we've been doing this. And we haven't seen any differences in terms of overall behavior or health when it comes to any of the different axolotl variations that exist. And there's over 50 different variations that are technically out there of axolotls.
A glow Oscar would be sweet.
I'm sure they have them. Dude, I've seen glow pea puffers. I've seen glow goldfish. I've seen glow silver arowanas. I've seen some crazy stuff that people are able to do with that. It's pretty crazy.
Fish Fam Link is here. Enjoying the stream? Do not forget to give it a thumbs up. Fish Fam. Awesome. No, sorry, y'all. I got the sidetrack a little bit. I was watching my peacocks. There's one that's holding, and the males are getting very anxious. So, yeah. You see the dancing. That's kind of cool. That's right here. I mean, literally right down there. I'm watching it. Anyways, so it's like
easily to get distracted. Easy to get distracted when you're sitting in front of the tanks.
Yeah, that's not good. Anyways, Jacob, are there any creators out there or influencers that have changed your thinking pattern or how you do things?
That's another really good question. Yeah, you came loaded with the good questions today, Ed. Yeah, other creators or influencers. I can't say that there have been any in particular that have changed the way that I think about things. Of course, if going all the way back to how I first got into the hobby, kind of touching back on that discus thing, and for everybody listening to this as well, you guys have a lot of the same opportunity that I had when it came down to axolotls, but with different types of aquatic animals. I'm sure a lot of the people listening right now, and even you, Ed, and Todd, have seen the video that Joey Mullen, the king of DIY, posted almost 10 years ago about how he made $20,000 in 1 month selling discus. And at that time, I was he posted that a few years before I graduated high school, and I was like a senior in high school when I saw that video, and he breaks down exactly how he did it, and I was like, man, this is not anything that I'm not familiar with. I could easily do this, and I guess when it comes down to creators that change the way I think about things, it's he made me realize that I could turn my passion into a career, and with we founded Axolotl Planet back in 2019. It's 2023 now, and in just 4 years, we built the largest axolotl company in the world. So there's a whole bunch of other fish that are out there that a lot of the people here listening can do, could replicate this exact same thing with. I realized that there is abundance in financial abundance in what we do here. It's just about positioning what you have the right way to make yourself different. I would encourage all the people here to look at some of the top creators that are out there today. I think Luke's Goldies. We need more Luke's Goldies out there. Let's let's see some of these people here in the chat. We need let's see, who is Craig's Catfish Cave? Yeah, dude, Craig's Catfish. We need the catfish guy. You have to be the Luke's Goldies version of Catfish, or the catfish version of Luke's Goldies, dude. I want to see a bunch of different wild catfish content out there. Yeah, dude. There's really a whole lot that you could do here. People don't it's we kind of undervalue ourselves, and and it's just I wish one thing people could really consider is just how much potential that they actually have. Yeah, Pile Aquatics. so they could do it with killifish. You absolutely could.
Hey, Mark,
kill-
welcome.
Yeah, killifish would be great. Like anything, like, and there's like, guys, there's a reason why like I'm axolotl planet and not salamander planet and not like amphibian planet, right? Like the more niche you can get about something, the more people will start associating you as the leader of that specific thing. So like, just, get really specific. I like the catfish guy, Craig, the catfish guy. Like you're already on the right track, dude. Just like you're automatically setting the tone that like anybody who comes across your page is going to know everything that there is to know about different types of catfish. Like I love catfish. Like I went really deep down the rabbit hole of different types of catfish when I got into the ornamental freshwater fish hobby, dude. Like the red-tailed catfish, shovel-nosed catfish, firewood catfish. Those things are sick. Have you guys ever seen firewood catfish? Those are so dope. And then, Pile Aquatics talking about the killifish thing. Like you could absolutely do that. So yeah, that's good question, man. Like the king of DIY, and yeah, it looks like some people here in the chat have contrasting opinions about him. Regardless of whether you like him or not, he's still accomplished a lot, and there's a lot that we can learn from him, despite not agreeing with everything that he's done. And that goes for a lot of different things. Right. I'm not saying I condone any of the things that he's done that are more controversial. I met him several times, but I've never actually had like a solid conversation with him.
Right. All right, y'all. Commercial time. A little commercial. Only Oscars. Have you lost time looking at your fish tanks? If so, you could be a victim of gone fishing. And if so, first thing I would recommend, go to YouTube, click How to Watch Your Aquariums. Or better yet, click on Vibes Aquatics live stream. You might get some information that you never heard before. I thought that was pretty neat, June. Thank you. Yeah, I know. But anyways, moving on. Yeah, I met Pyle last weekend. First time ever. Welcome, Mike.
Oh, really? In Houston?
In Houston.
Nice.
And he had a whole selection of killies. As far as you could see. I mean, it was like, wow.
How many did you take home?
None. 0. You know why? I already got.
Think of a good reason.
I got 3 tanks already of killies.
Okay.
I got the least killies. I got the garden eyes, and I got the splendids. So I'm already doing my own thing,
Got it.
And these are all breeding right now. So
yeah, nice.
I think I should stay with what I have since I already got everything else as well.
True.
That's why I didn't pick any home. Fallon Aquatics, welcome. Hey Fallon, you know what? You're late. Come in earlier. Welcome, brother. Good to see you.
Mark said he's got even more species of killifish coming.
No way.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right, Fathom. All right. I'll cut you a little bit of slack. Hey, while you're at it, build me an airplane too. That way I can get to conventions faster. Yes, better late than never. All right. Any more questions? Or hey, I gotta tell you what. I haven't had Jacob the time yet. Do you have any questions for us on panel, Jacob?
What kind of fish do you guys have? I want to know. I want to know every single kind of fish that you have.
Okay.
Oh.
This is gonna be a list. I got.
Dude, I love fish. That's why we're all here, man. Yeah, I saw the frontosas in the beginning.
Yeah.
I love frontosas. I had a colony of MOBA frontosas that were from like Tanganyika.
Right.
That were wild caught, of course, and they were the most beautiful fish that I've ever had. They had like those real deep blues. So those are really impressive. I appreciate that tank.
Before going to that, I see a question in the chat or comment. Pyle, I already knew that at least killifish are not actually killifish. I know that.
Well, but wait a second, Vibes, because you just claimed them as one of 3 species of killifish.
I know, which is awesome. Anyways,
You can't have it both ways.
moving on. Moving on. I got red paradise fish, guppies,
Nice.
imbunas, Bishardies, Maltese Chodrellas, Vera Chodrellas, similar Chodrellas, bettas, females and males, Goodyads, South American cichlid. I'm not sure which one it is. I think it's Nicaraguan. Corridors, all different sorts, a whole pile of them, different variety.
Nice.
Got clown loaches, doja loach. Then I got a whole pile of different kind of shrimp. Got blue boats, blue dreams, yellows, and these are all neos. Then I got my peacock cichlids. Got my Tropheus. I got the. Hold on. Albino plecos, bisonos, the regular bisonos.
Cool.
I got the reds. Discus.
Yeah, I can see the discus. I love those.
The rainbows.
The rainbow fish. I see some of those swimming around.
I got, of course, a whole part of varieties of guppies, platies, mollies, tetras, all sorts.
And you're serious about it, huh?
Let me see. Hold on. I got some swordtails that I'm breeding out. Some gouramis of different sorts. Then I got my saltwater tank. Got
saltwater
clownfish.
too.
Yeah.
Nice.
Got some angels, blennies. Then I got my koi pond outside with bluegill, koi, of course, like a wild guppy out there. I think that's it. How about that?
Okay. I wasn't expecting it to be that much. Honestly, I only see these 3 tanks behind you. I thought that might have. Oh, I guess you have what? Are those tanks up on top? You have like the good vibes sign. Those are tanks above the. What's going on up there? There's like purple, green, and orange. What is that?
These are experimental tanks. I have not. They've only been going now for about a year, so I'm still experimenting. Yeah.
Why are they different colors? Yeah, tell us now. Come on, dude.
No, this is my secret. My secret. Got a tank there. I got a tank there. A tank below. Then I got a big tank. One right below. You can't see it too well. And then I got over here beside me, I got a double stack.
Wow.
And behind the camera, there is 4 tanks stacked. And behind that, there's another 3 tanks stacked. So.
Dude.
All right, I'm starting a rumor right now that Vibes' experiment is that he's keeping fish in Robitussin, NyQuil, and root beer.
And root beer. Yeah.
That's it. That's what's going on in those tanks. We've got Robitussin, NyQuil, and root beer.
Yeah. So far, none of the fish have lived successfully, but there's still time.
He's still experimenting.
Yeah, there's gonna be. He's gonna find the one fish that can live in all 3 of those.
That's exactly what's happening here, Jacob. You and I have just cracked the mystery on Thursday night.
Yeah.
June said because everyone knows.
No, exactly.
How he's getting all red, Jacob. He's like, these 2 guys, too smart for me.
Yeah, they're too good at it. Only Oscars. Guess what fish I keep? Guppies. Better? No, June. We all know you keep Oscars. I mean, a lot of them. A lot more than the average person keeps. Hey, Wi-Fi! He's like little fish up there. Hey?
Yeah.
Might be telling.
He's cutting the heads off
Uh,
of different types of glowfish and then sewing them onto other ones.
Exactly. Hey, Dee, welcome. Sorry so late. Hashtag cookies. Hey, Dee, you're out in time. Shamil Aquariums, welcome. How you doing? Long time. Okay, back to the live stream. Go ahead, Todd. How about you?
Nope. My turn. Yeah. So let's see. I also keep Maltese shell dwellers. The first
Cool.
fish that I bred when I was a teenager were the Brevis shell dwellers, so another Tanganyikan. And so I've kind of got a little bit of a thing for Tanganyikan fish. So up here over my right shoulder is a tank of Parasiprochromis. They are a deeper water fish from Lake Tanganyika. They're a maternal mouth brooder that I have in there. Really neat. And I've actually got for the first time, they're about 3 years old, and I finally have a female that's holding and
Nice.
has held the eggs for more than about 3 days without eating or spitting them out. So I'm really quite excited about that. I also keep one species of killifish, Aphyosimian bivitatum. They are a purchase that I made at the Keystone Clash back in September. Great little fish. They're first of all, they're both the males and the females are beautiful, different, like totally different patterns, but beautiful and super personable. Like they're like true like little water puppies, which is not something I expected. But all of a
Interesting.
sudden, I come up to the tank and they're right there, and they're like, "What are you doing, dude?" Like, and they just kind of swim back and forth and just
That's
they're
cool.
looking at you, and they've got those little eyes and their upturned mouth, and it's like, so they're really neat. And then I've got what's becoming a more significant breeding project with Tenichthyes kunii, which is a species of white cloud from central Vietnam that was first discovered in 2009 and then scientifically described at the end of 2019. Not
Wow.
a ton of knowledge about them, I think, out there in the general hobby. I found them at the local fish club through one of the members there that had bred them, and now I'm trying to kind of continue on with that in the hopes of kind of making them more popular in the hobby, and
Nice.
especially as we think about a lot of those fish habitat destruction and things like that, making sure that we don't lose from Earth for forever. So I'm excited about
Yeah.
that. And then let's see, I've got a community tank. It's a 40-gallon planted community tank with some black marble angelfish. I've got some panda loaches. I've got a group of Amano shrimp. I have rainbow emperor tetras, silver tip tetras, Pristella or the X-ray tetras, gold tetras. That may be it. Like, no, dwarf emerald danios. So the cousins of the CPD.
Really cool.
Yeah, I think that's it. But just little groups of all of those things, and just a fun little tank to watch, and the plants and all that other kind of business. So just a bunch of different types of fish, and really like them all for different reasons.
Yeah. I think, Todd, I think you might agree with me on this, but it might be an unpopular opinion in general, but I feel like Tanganyikan cichlids are the only cichlids worth keeping.
I agree with you.
Yeah, really?
I
I'm not a fan of Malawi cichlids. I'm not that big of a fan of South American cichlids.
don't know. So I have. I've got angelfish. Those are certainly South American cichlids, but other than that, nothing really. But I certainly could see a life where I might get into some apistos. I certainly think some of the West African cichlids are neat. Some of the different types of Crebensis, pelvic, Nanochromis, right? I think there's some of those. But if I had to go like Rift Lake, it would certainly be Tanganyikan and then Victorian. I think there's some really neat stuff. And Vibes, I think Jeff is requiring that you fire me. I'm not sure exactly what I did, but
Okay.
so you'll have to
I
you'll
have
have
to
to
check
mull
that
that
out.
over.
Before I get too far back behind the chat, I'm going to quickly catch up. Some comments I want to read.
Mhm.
Jeff Kane, Vibe. She keeps a lot more than Porter keeps. I know, Jeff Kane. I know. Only Oscars. Keeps a lot of Oscars. Anyways, Curlworks, Vibe Experiment is using cottage cheese as a replacement for peat moss with its crayfish breeding. That ain't a bad idea. Stephen White! How you doing? Long time no see. How's Spain? Good to see you. Welcome. Fallon Aquatics. Keep it Oscar, Texas Cichlid, 6 different Bichardes, a flower horn, a Jack Dempsey, an electric blue jack, many mollies and platies, Vietnam colored minnows, male and female bettas, a dojo loach. Wow. You starting Sonic vibes.
Mm.
Also, now I also have West African lungfish. Now I have not had one of those yet. Hey, Ian, welcome. How you doing, Atkins?
Hey, Ian.
Good to see you.
Now I get it. Jeff said South American cichlids are the only cichlids. Oh, like, I love my angelfish, Jeff. I got nothing wrong with South American cichlids.
I like discus and I like pike cichlids. Like those are really the only South American ones that I'm
pike
into.
cichlids are cool. Discus are neat. I've never kept them.
Yeah, and they get huge. They get like dinner plate size. People don't realize how big they usually get.
Oh yeah. I mean, I got to see some. Actually, this past weekend, some at the show. I mean, they were humongous.
Yeah, and someone said that someone in the chat earlier said that they prefer the wild discus too, and I think I agree with that. There's like a lot of these different like discus morphs that we see just from like selective breeding that look beautiful, like the pigeons and different ones like that. But I am definitely in favor of the more natural look, and I just think it's more attractive in general. I just love those like really thick, bold black bars they have down the sides of their bodies.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So Jacob, what order do you keep right now? Since we talked about ours.
I actually don't really have anything at the moment. I have one axolotl, but that's pretty much it. Whenever the thing about it is like whenever I get into keeping any types of pets, it has to be something that I go all in on, and I'm usually into like the super weird things. But for example, I just bought I actually bought 5 of these. These are rain frogs, and they haven't been available in the United States for over a decade. Yeah, those cute little butts. But how cute. They look like a little mochi with legs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right? Why are they called rain frogs?
I have no idea. Maybe it's like a locality kind of thing, but I found one guy. So some of our employees are like super like deep in the rabbit hole when it comes to like frogs in particular. Like I said, anyone who wants to work at like an axolotl only facility is usually someone who's like quite passionate about the hobby in general, and they're oftentimes into the weirder things. But yeah, we have a couple employees that are super into frogs, and they let me know that there was somebody out there who was actually selling these rain frogs, and I was like, dude, that's amazing. I've been trying to find one, and there was literally a period where for like a whole month I was just trying to find different suppliers for rain frogs in the United States, and I heard back from some big companies. I think like the biggest one was like Underground Reptiles or like backwater reptiles, and they said that they were not able to import these frogs just because they don't really do well in the shipping process, because like they are wild caught, and oftentimes they don't end up making it, and there's very little known about their husbandry and captivity. But like there's people in Japan that I swear that they're breeding them because they just post them all the time. And I actually reached out to this one vendor over in Japan, and he was like, yeah, we can ship them to you, but it's going to cost like a base price of $4,000 for us to be able to send them over to the United States. And I was like, that's kind of insane. Like he was like, but the frogs are $50 a piece. And I was like, I can't do that. But I'm just really excited. I'm going to be one of the only people in the United States that has one of those. And as like a Christmas present, I'm getting some for a few of our employees as well. So I'm really excited about it. Yeah, but like in the past, I've kept a bunch of different fish. Like I said earlier, I've kept a variety of different freshwater stingrays. That was kind of like the thing that I fell in love with when it came to fish keeping. I just think the fact that you can keep a stingray as a pet, I just think that's so cool. And like although they get like gigantic and they're really not a good pet to keep because they require so much space. I just think it's amazing, and I didn't even know, and I think this is true for most people as well. I didn't even know that freshwater stingrays were even a thing. Like I always just like knew about the stingrays that existed like in like the ocean. But then you have like these different species of stingrays that exist over in Asia, and then you have like all these different South American stingrays. And I like that's just the coolest thing. So I had an assortment of different freshwater stingrays. Like I said, I was really into cichlids for a while, but specifically the frontosas. I think those are like the most beautiful cichlid that you can own. I just think they're so majestic, and I think they have like I don't know, I think they kind of have like this luxury type of appeal about them. They feel like a royal fish or something like that, you know? Yeah, look how beautiful. Is that a MOBA frontosa?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Like those deep blues are just so impressive, and when they have like that nice big hump on their head, I just think that's such an impressive look on those fish. They're just so cool, and like they're just like these big, beefy, bold, beautiful fish. Like I just think they're like the coolest cichlid that you could really own. And I've kept like a bunch of oddball plecos too, like the pine cone pleco. A lot of people don't know, but I think the L number is like L095, and those are like the most wicked pleco that you could even own, in my opinion. Let me see. I'll find a picture of one. Yeah, I have it right here. Yeah, these things are epic, and they're another super uncommon pleco that people like really don't even know about. But this is what they look like. Like how sick is that?
Nice.
Yeah, dude. Those things are so cool. They're gray and they have those bright orange fins. Those things are incredible, and they get pretty big too. Those things, they'll get like almost 2 feet long. But I think that's like the coolest pleco that you could own, dude. Like that thing is just amazing. And I remember I had this one local fish store that was over by me in Chicago called what was it called? It was I don't remember the name of it, but it was called Animal Island in Midlothian over in Chicago. And they have like a bunch of these crazy ornamental monster fish. And they had those there one day, and I was like, dude, I've never seen a pleco like that in my entire life. Like, so like and you know, you guys know this, like plecos are a really deep rabbit hole too. You have all these different L numbers that people want to keep, and it gets really you know, you can get really deep in the weeds when it comes to those fish in particular. So yeah, I mean, I've kept a variety of different things. I've kept like those brashears, or you know, however you want to pronounce it. Maybe who is it? Fathom Aquatics can phonetically spell it out for us, but those polypterus fish, the Polypterus endlicheri are like one of my favorite ones. I just think those look like little alligators. Those things are the coolest. And I've always wanted to keep one of those. I think it was Fathom Aquatics too. He mentioned that he had the African lungfish. I've always wanted to keep a lungfish. I specifically wanted an Australian lungfish, but back in the day, like you had to import them, and it was like at least 10 grand to be able to get one. One of my buddies, like right down the street from me, he actually has a juvenile one that he had gotten from what's it called? There's this company out in Australia, and they specialize in Australian lungfish, and they're able to send them over to the United States. I forgot what they were called though. But anyways, he ended up spending like 4 grand on getting it, and it was like the first time I was ever able to see one in person. And dude, those things are so cool. They straight up look like dinosaurs. But
Yeah.
like any of those like really oddball freshwater fish, I just have like a massive soft spot for. They're just so cool.
Hey James, welcome. I met him in person first time. I can remember in Aquacella Daytona. He's one of the aquascapers there. He's awesome.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I might have met him.
Yeah, you probably have. We're running out of time, and Ed is going live tonight. Channel Ed, and we need a hashtag for that. I was thinking of it. Carl West kind of answered it, I think. Hashtag filter gravy.
Filter gravy. I like it. Hashtag filter gravy.
For those that are going to watch Channel Ed after this.
Hashtag
Hold on,
filter
y'all.
gravy.
There we go. There we go.
There we go.
Name of Bashar is Bashir or Bashir. It comes from a native translation of the word ambusher, as they are an ambush predator. Cool.
See, I had a feeling that he'd be able to help us out here because this logo literally has like 3 different species of them in there. So yeah, that's really cool. I was watching this one BBC documentary about how they were studying these animals in the wild and they pronounced it as Bashir. And then whenever I would say that to people, they would always try to correct me and they'd be like, no, they're called bikers. And I'm like, they're not called bikers. Like, no, they're not like these motorcyclists that are
Right.
riding down the highway. No, they're not.
Right.
I was never gonna call them bikers. There you go. I'm your local Bashir guy. There we go. I'm happy that I've been saying it right all this time. Good. I
Yeah,
don't feel
actually,
bad
Fathom
about it.
Aquatics was Aquashell as well.
Was he?
Yeah, he was actually hanging out at the fish stream booth quite a bit. Me and him and his wife and another fella, we escaped one of the tanks there at the booth.
Okay, I mean, I had to have run into him then.
Yeah, probably. But before we head out, y'all, it's getting late, and we don't want to go to Ed's live stream. He's a great live streamer. So, Todd, we got to say the Fish Fam before we head out.
And like always, just really appreciate everybody coming out here and having a good time. This is one of the highlights of the week for me, is to come here and have conversation with you and guests occasionally. And we're really missing Mariah tonight, that she's not here with us. But appreciate that everybody was here. Jacob, thank you so much for coming and joining us and talking to us a little bit about all sorts of different stuff, hobby related. So this was great. I appreciate meeting you.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Likewise, guys.
All right. Hey, everyone, double check. You subscribe to Exotic Planet. Let's give some love. Come on, we can do it. Double check. Double check. We can do it. And if you're going to watch Channel Ed, put hashtag filter gravy. It's good stuff. Especially you gotta go swimming and stuff. You can't. Yeah. Hey, stay tuned for more content. It's gonna be good. Thanks, Jacob, for being out as a guest. Thanks, Todd, best co-host on tonight's live stream. Thank you for that. And Mariah, you still listening? Looking? Mariah, you're still awesome. We missed you. Looking forward to having you come back. Hopefully, you can get your technical issues figured out. And those watching replay, you made this far. You're definitely a Vibes fam. And thanks to all the members and those lookers, subscribers. Appreciate it. Anyways, we'll head out of here. But before we head out, I'm going to drop a video. You can watch that. We'll be out. Hashtag filter gravy. And see y'all.